Hello, welcome to another episode of Black Ice 73. I'm Black Ice 73. Today, I want to talk about the danger of being a teacher in this pandemic. Schools all around the country is going back to in-person classes. And it's very dangerous for teachers. There's been articles and news showing that how teachers are dying from COVID-19, and that without having students in class. So imagine how the spread of the COVID-19 gonna escalate with the students starting back. Like in the county that I work in, the county I stay in, they started back not 100%, but they started back with some students in classes. In my hometown, they started back on yesterday with students in classes. I know some children, they need that in-person class. I know when I went in school, I needed that in-person class. I needed somebody in my face explaining to me what's going on. But during this pandemic, I don't know how sure the in-person class is gonna work out. I don't know how many teachers and students gonna become ill, and parents and guardians, grandparents, they're gonna become ill because of being a rush to get these children back into in-person classes. I know there's a lot of grant money. Everything come back to money, people. But I know there's a lot of grant money is going into these schools, and they want to see them children inside the school. And the superintendent and the principal are afraid of losing some of these grants because school is not going on. Then you got high school sports starting back up. The testing for high school sports is not like how it is in the NFL or the NBA. You got these young men out here playing football, but all this darn contact with other people from different counties, and ain't no telling us they being affected by the COVID-19. You know, saying young men is gonna have to go back into class, be around their teacher and be around their darn fellow students, and it's a good chance they might pass that along. The teachers, they always had to worry about if a upset child had to come in there with a gun and start shooting up the place. Now they got to worry about an invisible enemy, the one they can't see. They're gonna have to worry about is little Johnny or little Jill gonna keep their mask on for 8 hours. To be honest with you, people, when I walk up into the store, the mask be irritating to my darn nose from like 10, 15 minutes. Get down a little bit below my nose. But you got students, they count on 4 years old, 4 to 18, in some cases 19 and 20-year-olds in school who gonna keep their mask on for 8 hours. 8 hours, people. 8 hours is a long time, especially for children who got this built up energy in them, who want to be active and want to be around their friends. It's gonna be hard for them to keep a mask on for 8 hours. And then these teachers who locked up in these small darn room with a bunch of students. Like I said, it's not full capacity right now. They don't have to be full capacity for the darn germs to be spread around into the classroom and in the teacher. I seen in some classrooms, they're showing pictures of how, a teacher who was one of my Facebook friends, she showed her classroom setup and showed how they got the little shield like they have at the grocery store and other places that supposed to be stopping the contact from the COVID-19 getting on the teacher. You know how they just had that one little square right there, and then the children just walk around. They have it at the desk, but at the same time, I guess they're gonna get rid of the part when the student raise their hand and asking the teacher to come show what they talking about. You know, I'm old. Look at me, I'm old. But I remember the days when the teacher would come around and come to your desk and say, "You got a problem? Let me see what you're doing right there." If them days are over, are those days over since this COVID-19 going around? Yes, I hear on these different 24 hours news networks talking about a vaccine might be coming in within the end of October or sometimes in November. But to then, what they're gonna have to do is just pray that the vaccine don't just spread throughout the schoolhouse. Because in some states that started in August, like in Georgia, y'all seen the article when they were talking about how that school suspended that young lady, showing that they ain't had no social distance with the classrooms and with they had the whole crowd of students, and they suspended her. Then a week later, they had to shut down that school because a whole bunch of students and teachers had caught COVID-19. That was just in one county in Georgia. I hear the largest school system in the United States and the second largest school system in the United States, they about to start back having classes. And I'm talking about New York and California. They about to start back having classes, people. Man, it's nasty around here, people. I don't see what the rush, me personally, I don't see what the rush is to get these children and these teachers back in the classroom, and we don't have no cure, don't have the doing antibiotics, don't have the doing vaccine, we don't have nothing. Everything they have used so far didn't work on COVID-19. When they were talking about the plasma didn't work. They said it was like a 15 to 20% chance of that working. And then they come to find out it wasn't working at all. It was just some people heal faster than other people. Then when they were talking about that doing the medication, it didn't work. Nothing worked. And they got these students, got these teachers, principals, the lunchroom people, the custodians, all in. I'm gonna read you some of this article right here. They said teachers in the last it looks like it's still connected. At least 3 states have died after bouts with the coronavirus since the dawn of the new school year. Hills, Salter, teaching union leader worries that the return to in-person class will have a deadly impact across the United States if proper precautions aren't taken. The Marines, something like that, was just 34 when she died Sunday after 3 weeks in the hospital. She taught social skills and special education at the John Evans Middle School in Missouri, about 70 miles from St. Louis. It's a 3rd grade teacher died Monday in South Carolina. And they said 2 other educators died recently in Mississippi. It says unclear how many teachers in the United States have become ill with COVID-19 since the new school year began. But Mississippi alone, 104 cases among school teachers and staff. Just this year, people. I mean, just this a month, not year, Just a month. School just started back in August. And in Mississippi, got 604 cases with teachers and staff. 1 month, people. They said the president of the American Federation of Teachers said school need guidelines such as mandated face covering and strict social distancing rules to reopen safely. So if community spread is too high, as the Missouri and Mississippi, if you don't have the infrastructures of testing, and if you don't have the safeguard that prevent the spread of the virus in the school, we believe that you cannot reopen in person. It shouldn't open, but guess what? They opening. They opening. It's crazy, people. It's a Johnny Dunlap, a 39-year-old drummer and forensics teacher at the Dodge City High School in Kansas, said he considered quitting before the district made mask mandate for teachers and students. Still, his history of bladder cancer and high blood pressure had left him with some anguish about being around so many people. He said existing health conditions can put people at a higher risk for several illness and death for the virus. He quote, "I'm at a high school with close to 2,000 students, so it kind of runs against the advice we have been given for half a year now." He talking about how they've been saying you don't need but 10 people. At first, they said 50 people at one place. Then they dropped it down to 10 people. So the teacher said, how the hell are we going to social distance when you got 2,000 students, and he didn't even count how many staff or educators or lunchroom people at the school too. He said, how are we going to social distance with all this going on? Because you heard the man say, don't have down stomach cancer, high blood pressure. It's in the early phase of pandemic claims the lives of a dozen teachers. They said the New York City Department of Education alone lost 31 teachers among 75 employees whose deaths were blamed on the coronavirus. They said across the United States, the American Federation of Teachers listed 210 union members have died. The list includes support staff and retirees as well as teachers. They said the start of the new school year brought with it new fatalities. It's crazy, people. I wish my daughter can do this during virtual, but I know they ain't gonna happen because they talking about at the school she going to attend. They talking about having full in-person classes on October the 10th, a month from now. They said in Oxford, Mississippi, a 42-year-old high school football. So it can't be Nakoma. It's Nacoma. Jane. He at a middle school helped coach high school football. He died August the 6th during the first week of classes, but was self-quarantined when teachers and students returned to classroom. Said they're doing school distance. But if he helped coach football, that means he's still around the students in the summertime. They said James worked with the football players during summer workout, but the investigation found no new cases linked to him. They said another Mississippi teacher died Sunday. A history teacher named Tom Slate recently posted on Facebook about his battle with pneumonia caused by the coronavirus. Slate was a teacher in person when the academy year started on August the 6th. As a Principal Holmes said, but being quarantined after he had contact with someone who was positive at the church meeting. His last day of teaching was August the 21st. That's 15 days, people. That 15 days of spreading, having that COVID-19 spread to other people. This Slate was known for joking and using a judge's gavel to quiet noisy students. He said, quote, He always brought humor into his classroom, and his students loved that part about him, said Holmes. They said in South Carolina, Demetrius, she was 28. She died 3 days after being diagnosed with COVID-19. Her school district said in a news release Wednesday that Demetrius taught third grade in Columbia. The district said Demetrius was at Windorf Elementary School on August the 28th for a teacher workday before class resumed. This in-person classes start August the 24th. Demetrius was already hospitalized by then, but has been in the school preparing for the year a couple of weeks earlier, her sister Jennifer said. It says Superintendent Alex said contact tracing determined she has no close contact with any teachers, student, or staff. It said Demetrius grew up near New York, but developed a passion for her rural school in South Carolina. It's a town of 2,600 residents. So Demetrius had wanted to teach special education since she was a child. When a special education teacher helped her overcome a mild syndrome. They said she had the patience of a saint. She was really meant for it. The kids love her, and she touched so many lives. Demetrius had asthma, which can put someone more at risk from severe illness and from COVID-19. She began feeling poorly around mid-August. After developing fevers and shortness of breath, she was tested for the coronavirus and was soon hospitalized. It says it's unclear where Demetrius picked up the virus. It said a nurse who worked in a New York area hospital intensive care unit, somehow she managed to avoid the illness that her sister couldn't. It said in William Ham report from Jackson, Mississippi, AP report. They just telling about the different places all the reports came. Mississippi, Kansas, South Carolina, Missouri. People, the bottom line is, I think, in my opinion, I think it's too early to go back to school. But it already has started. If you pray, whoever you pray to, whoever your spirit guide is, and whoever, you sit on your knees and ask to watch over your family, I need y'all to do the same thing for these students and these teachers and custodians, because it's going to be hard 8 hours talking about the children. Hey, pray for your children, your grandchildren, your cousins, your nieces, all them, pray for them. Hey, thank you for watching the video. I'll talk to y'all later. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification, hit the share button, and make a mistake and hit the like button too. Hey, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.